Hello students, I hope you're doing well. In this video I'm going to tour you around the course. When you log in, you'll be on this is the home page. The announcements are coming up 1 or 2 to 3 times a week, so be sure you don't just skip right over the announcements. Take a look. Right now I noticed today that there was a free webinar. This has nothing to do with our class, just personal edification. If you want to do this free webinar, put that there. Also here a welcome video that will help you to get started, information about your lab kits, discussions, etc. The reason why I'm scrolling down is because on this very first day we have lots of announcements. So make sure you scroll. Typically the same announcement would stay up for 2 or 3 days. Now see this little envelope here, this is the internal messaging tool. So I already sent you 2 emails, one from in here and one from my cccs.edu email. Please use this one. I'm in the classroom every day, usually with my cup of coffee at the first thing in the morning. So if you want to get my attention, send me a message here, not to my email that gets hundreds of emails all the time. Now, I've asked you to just tour around the course yourself. Click on every single button. So here in the Western Hemisphere, we read from left to right down a page. So you could do the same exact thing in the navigation of the course. You'll want to make sure you've clicked across here. I'm going to start with course home. That's where we are. Content. This is the bulk of the course. It's really important that you use this content button because these buttons, assignments, discussions, quizzes, there's nothing instructional there. That's the you do it part. But the me talking to you and the course materials talking to you comes through this content button. So we will go through. You can look at your calendar. It'll show you what's coming up. Notice that if you follow from the deadlines only, though, you don't necessarily give yourself a ton of time to work on these assignments. So it's best to be prepared and know what's going on ahead of time. So here in our syllabus, we have all the pages about how this course works, how CCC Online courses work. And this right here is a very important page, the course schedule. And you might decide to download that. You could just probably right click and print it, but this is the kind of thing you want to have on your refrigerator or hanging in your room somewhere because these are all of our deadlines. And so notice 13, 15, 16, 17, 18, there are deadlines almost every day. In the syllabus, it's telling you like that, by the 16th, you should have read those chapters. Well, that's a lot of chapters, so you're not going to even read them all on one day. You should be reading the textbook every single day. We're going to cover so much material in this course. So it'll be important that you are proactive about handling the information and working through it on your own. Take a look right here, something to note, the very first lab requires no lab kit. It'll take a little while for the lab kits to arrive because we wait till the census date to ship them, so we're not shipping kits to people who drop. So first lab requires no kit, and then we'll go on from there. Now, notice that you're going to have to get in there and introduce yourself. It says you don't have to do that for another 7 days, but you want to do that today or tomorrow, right away, and then you can jump right into this content discussion, and then we'll have a quiz, okay? This is a 10-week summer session. This is very fast. It is very important that you decide when you're going to work in this course and stay true to yourself. So now, if these arrows over here, top right, this is how you flip through this like a book. And so you can just keep going along like this. Go to the right, read down the page, and gain all this information. Read it. Ask me questions when you introduce yourselves. Here is the scope of the grading, discussion, lab assignments, quizzes, tests, and the midterm and final. Notice that 3 of these things are quizzes. There are a lot of quizzes in this course. That means that each one isn't something to get super stressed about. It's really a check for knowledge. So stay on top of it. Always come to discussion because that's like coming to class, and those are the easiest points to get. You just have to show up and follow the rubric. Same thing with the lab assignments. If you get a question wrong, I'm probably not going to even deduct any points. I'm looking for thorough effort here and like an actual engagement with the course material. And then the quizzes, tests, and finals are all administered in the course. I'll show you those in a second. So we can go on and on. We can see, oh, I'll have to look for that page. These are all the pages that are in the syllabus. And then below the syllabus, we get to our e-texts. So you don't need to purchase a book and none will come to you in your mailbox. Instead, you will use these open source texts, and they change because we cover so many topics in integrated science. And then we get to module 1. So here's where I think it's really important that you get reading the first page and then you use these arrows because it's easy to skip something. Like this right here is engagement, lecture material, and then you go on, you find out what the activities for the lesson are, you find out what you are supposed to read, you do your practice quiz, and so on and so forth. And then when you get to a place where there's no arrow right here, you can pop back out here. And then you would hop into these discussions to introduce yourselves. So I am asking you to spend at least an hour today clicking through every possible thing you can click through so you can ask me questions. Then once you feel comfortable, like usually, you're on a page and then you walk away for the day and you log in, it will put you right back to this page. And so, that's a way that the website itself is helping you to stay on track. But say, maybe you get into a practice of just waking up with your coffee and going into the discussion and seeing what discussions posts have been made today, okay? And so you would just come straight into here from the discussions. And then, maybe it's a deadline. And so you just come right over here to the quiz, okay? And look, we have a practice quiz here. It's already available. Has no due date. But then the next quiz that you should be aware of, June 10th. You got 9 days to take your first quiz. You can look at your grades here. I gotta get off that quickly just for keep your names protected. And these are your lab assignments. So when you get your kit, you're going to want to come into this lab kit and authentic assessment box. You're going to submit some photographs of yourself, you and your lab box with the company's bar label clearly visible in the image. And then I will go through and say thank you, and that will get you rolling. Then take a look. Your first lab you don't need a kit for is June 7th. So you are going to start working on this right away before probably you get your lab kit. Then notice the cadence here, right? We've got labs roughly once a week moving throughout the semester. So plan for that. At least one day a week you're working on a lab, okay? So I hope that helped. That was 8 minutes. Ask me questions when you come in here to introduce yourself. If you have just basic questions, like if you have a question you want to email me, but you think other people might have the same question, then ask it in here. And because usually I'll just end up posting an announcement about it anyway. Anything personal, please email me. So I'll see you in the student introductions, and we'll go from there. Oh, wanted to point out one last thing. Don't be alarmed. You have to make a post first in these discussions, and then you can read posts from other students. This gives everyone an equal opportunity to write with originality, and we are being asked to answer the same questions. So you post first, and then as soon as you post, you can see what everybody else has posted. All right, 9 minutes and 40 seconds. I'll see you in class. Let me know if you have any questions.